to quiver. Is there enough water in the world to wash me? My heart starts racing. All these demons I've been chasing. Tell me that I'm not the kind, no, to be set free. Looking for grace in the graveyard. Finding the light can be so hard. Oh, I've been under it, nothing over it. The Lord knows I've hit rock bottom. You can crawl through the dark and lose sight of it all, or you can lay your burdens down. Yes, feel the winds are changing, and my worries get to fading. As I stand on that rock that's been trying to pull me down, pull me down. I'm done with the hate crime. Oh, to myself, I've been unkind. Goodness in me that was lost, yes, Lord, has now been found. Leave the chains in the graveyard. I'll take the light and a new sky. Oh, I've been under it, nothing over it. Yes, the Lord knows I've hit rock bottom. You can crawl through the dark and lose sight of it all, or you can lay your burdens down. Yes, I've been under it, yes, I've been over it. The Lord knows I've hit rock bottom. I've heard those voices call. You can crawl through the dark and lose sight of it all, or you can lay your burdens down. Yes, Mom. Take that rock, throw it in the river. Gonna lay my burdens down. Gonna take that rock, throw it in the river. Gonna lay my burdens down. I'm gonna take that rock, throw it in the river. Gonna lay my burdens down. I'm gonna take that rock, throw it in the river. Gonna lay my burdens down. Yes, I've been under it, baby, over it. My Lord knows I've hit rock bottom. I've heard those voices call. You can crawl through the dark and lose sight of it all, or you can lay your burdens down. You can crawl through the dark and lose sight of it all, or you can lay your burdens down. Lay them down, lay them down. Lay them down, yes. Come on, lay them down, 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 lay them down.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Kyshona, Armstrong, Nickie, Conley. Don't go anywhere. We're going to see now. We got a lot of stuff up here. That's right. Don't go far because we're gonna want you all to bless us again very, very shortly. But good morning, everybody from Unity of Music City here in Nashville. I'm Vic Sorrell, and again here with Kyshona Armstrong, Maureen Murphy, and our very own Nickie Conley. It's always a pleasure, especially a pleasure today, to be here and to be able to do this. So our burdens are down, and we were never meant to dwell on our shortcomings anyway, but how our gifts are meant to serve the world. And that's what we're here to do together today, is align with the truth of love, the power of love, and the willingness of love to do the work of love in the world. So now that we know that and that we have expressed our intention into the universe, thank you for joining us. Sit back, make yourself comfortable. Let's hear from these beautiful ladies again.
You've got your reason, and I've got mine. Ain't no agreeing, but I'm on your side. I can't hear your heart over the screaming crowds. We've set off things, but I'm still choosing you now. We've got more in common. We've got more in common. No matter what you think, where you've been, who you are, we've got more in common than what tears us apart. Second chances, they don't come every day. They're like sun in Seattle, or like February rain. So let's build up these bridges. Oh, and tear down these walls, oh Lord. Let's get love when we need it, and be ready to receive it, 'cause love is binding us all. We've got more in common. We've got more in common. No matter what you think, where you've been, who you are, we've got more in common than what tears us apart. Na 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 na. Take my hand, we'll rise together through the fire. You are my brother. The more we see, the more we find it. More in common. Take my hand, we'll rise together through the fire. You are my brother. The more we see, the more we find it. More in common. Take my hand, we'll rise together through the fire. You are my brother. The more we see, the more we find it. More in common. We've got more in common. We got more in common. No matter what you think, where you've been, who you are, we got more in common than what tears us apart. Na na na, na 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 na. Y'all can sing that with us from home. Na na na, na 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 na. Na na na, na 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 na.
Kyshona, Armstrong, Nickie, Conley, Maureen, Murphy, thank you again. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. The more we seek, the more we find. We have more in common, right? No question about it. That's what unity is. More in common, united with the intention of being here for love, for the work of love, for the experience of love. Again, thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you, Doug Devlin on the piano. Always good to see you. Let's take a few breaths together this morning and just center ourselves in the presence. Being fully present to the presence, love's presence, the essence of ourselves, the truth of ourselves, the opportunity of our lives. There's a community of love here, and in this moment we acknowledge its power. We acknowledge the opportunity that we have as a community to unite on what we know and what we've lived and for what we believe. And as we love each other, as we show up with open hearts, then we're able to let our separateness dissolve. And together we just enter the oneness that is the truth. The oneness with each other, oneness with all that is. Oneness with vision. It's intentional. It's intelligent. Oneness with wisdom, with certainty of our spiritual unity. There is no place that you stop and I start. In love, there is only one of us here, and that one is breeding us together now. As it seeks to expand and evolve its own experience as us, through us, for us. Together we share this beautiful ride we call life. I am that I am. This is God's nature in all of us. I am that I am. Perfect in potential, all possibility, strength and purpose, guided to know the way. All that I need or want, I already am. I need not look outside myself, but within. Where I am in reality is the heart of God. Where we are is the heart of God. And in this time together, we align for that work of the heart of God. Where I am in the world depends upon where I think I am. So we affirm, I am love. I am kindness. I am talent. I am a gift. I am generosity, radiant health, well-being, clarity, certainty, strength. One of the founders of Unity, the mother of Unity, Myrtle Fillmore, prayed, "Lord of my being, I would disentangle myself from the turmoil and the changing circumstances of the formed world. I would be in the world, but not of it. I would be still enough to hear you. I am that I am." And now in the silence, the Spirit of love be infused in us, as us, for us. I am that I am. I am that I am. Give me love, the conscious support, and let me be filled with love that gives character and direction to my mind. Let me be filled with love that gives character and direction to my body. Let me be filled with love that gives character and direction to my life, to our life, to the one life, to all that is. I in them and thou in me, that we all might be perfected into one for one purpose. And for this time of loving alignment, we give thanks for remembering together the truth of who and what we are. And so it is. Thank you, Doug. And so it is. Today we're talking about true resilience. Having the life you want by being present to the life you have. True resilience. We talked last week about Imelda Shanklin's book, What Am I?, in which she introduces the concept of the personal and the impersonal, the formless and the form, the eternal and the changeable, the malleable. And so today we're looking at how in an opportunity to align with the eternal and what is eternally true, we have the opportunity to sustain ourselves in uncertain times with true resilience. And I know from being in the world as each of you that resilience is the call for all of our lives right now. Resilience. We are in a place and time where we have to be able to align with what we know is true, and we have to be able to center in that and sustain and endure, because change is happening. Change is always happening. Resilience allows us to gracefully change. Resilience, true resilience, allows us to be available for the change that wants to happen with us. So in the spirit of looking at truth, I thought, there's a lot of quotes about truth, and I love a quote. I love a quote. So these are some of my favorites that I found in reading over the past week about this topic. The first one, maybe my favorite of all, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. And actually, to be honest, that came from a book that I read a while back, that the truth about men will set you free, but first it will piss you off, if I'm being quite honest. Just for what it's worth. It's true regardless of whether the man is in there or not, but it's true. Before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage. We feel that. They are just angry, be 3Q cause. That was a nice typo on my part. The truth you live and speak contradicts, the truth you speak contradicts the lie they live. They are just angry because the truth you speak contradicts the lie they live. Woo! Seeing a lot of that in the world, right? In every differing of opinion, in every different viewpoint, right? The truth is still the truth, even if no one believes it, and a lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it. That was sort of a revisit. I remember that quote from yesteryear. Life is never about the people who act sincere in front of you. It is always about the people who remain sincere behind you. Whew! And thank God for those people that love us enough to tell us the truth. No question. Truth is like a surgery. It hurts, but it cures. A lie is like a painkiller. It gives instant relief, but has side effects forever. And to sum it all up, truth is powerful and it prevails. Sojourner Truth. And ironically, all those other quotes where I found them, I wasn't able to find. Either they were all quoted to anonymous or the source of the quote was not available at the location. But this one, truth is powerful and it prevails. Sojourner Truth. Women are good at truth. Yes? Women are good at truth. Women are good at truth. I remember when I was growing up, and you all know that I started singing at a very young age, and my mom would never lie to me about a song. And yet she had this beautiful way of telling me the truth that fostered me and nurtured me into continuing what I love to do, but learning where my strengths were inside of that. And so today, we're going to look at the teachings of Myrtle Fillmore, the mother of Unity. During this month, we're going to spend some time looking at the founders of Unity and look at their lives and what they taught. And Myrtle Fillmore in particular has an incredible story of resilience and commitment to truth, the truth as she chose. So Myrtle Fillmore, oh, before I go there, pause with me 1 second. I meant to go here a minute ago because it was in speaking about what we face right now. The truth of where we are and what is true for us right now is right here. When I is replaced with we, even illness becomes wellness. That's where we are. We're at this place in our world where we is the opportunity and I is the constraint. So many of us are afraid to step out of I into the possibility that we might actually be more. We might have more as we than just as a few. When I is replaced by we, even illness becomes wellness. And so we look at Myrtle Fillmore, and you notice that Myrtle Fillmore lived quite a few minutes ago. Born in 1845 in Pagetown, Ohio. August 6th, she was a Leo. You know what that means. Ta-da! I love a Leo. Seriously, some of my best friends are Leos. And the thing I love about Leos the most is they will celebrate themselves and they will celebrate you. They want you to have yours and they want to have theirs. And they want everybody to have the fullness of life. And that's Myrtle Fillmore. She graduated from Oberlin College, even back then, and she became a teacher in Clinton, Missouri. Interestingly, she taught children whose parents fought in the Civil War, and some of the men were concerned about her teaching their boy children, being a woman. And she was very quick to tell them that she felt quite confident and assured in taking care of their male children educationally. I love that. I love to read that. She was raised to believe. She was semi-invalid because she was diagnosed with tuberculosis at a very young age. And yet, she went on to teach and to meet her would-be husband, Charles Fillmore, in 1876. In 1881, they married, and they had 3 children, Lowell, Rickard, and Royal. And Lowell and Royal, I believe, became a part of Unity Village and a part of that process later in life. In 1884, they moved as a family to Kansas City, and they attended a spiritual science lecture by E.B. Weeks. And this is when everything started to unfold for Myrtle Fillmore and for us as students of this teaching. So it was at this lecture that she attended that she heard E.B. Weeks say, "I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. I'm a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness." So she went home, and she set out to prove that thought. So here's what she did. I love this. She cleaned out a closet under the stairwell, and she placed in that closet 2 chairs and a desk. 1 chair for her, 1 chair for the Spirit of Jesus Christ. And she vowed that she would sit in that closet and be available to the truth of the Spirit of Jesus Christ 8 hours a day, as long as it takes, until either she would die or she would heal from tuberculosis and be able to tell the story of how she did it. Interestingly, she spent 2 years in that closet, and she did heal, even though she had been given 3 months to live when she went to that E.B. Weeks lecture, where she heard, "I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit the power, or I do not inherit sickness." 2 years in the closet. Interestingly enough, a lot of my own miracles happened when I came out of the closet. For her, that's what I'm saying. It's every perspective is important, right? Wonderful things can happen in a closet. Wonderful things can happen when you come out. So the founding of Unity is really based on her remarkable healing. And the actual founding of the movement, which started out as a prayer ministry, a healing ministry, was in 1889. And here we are, over 100 years later, still realizing the truth. The truth that I spoke about in the beginning, the truth that's changeless, because it's eternal. The truth that we have the opportunity to align with in our life, even now. So when she wrote about this experience that she had in the closet, she was quoted as saying, "I have made what seems to me a discovery. I was fearfully sick. I had all the ills of mind and body that I could bear. Medicine and doctors ceased to give me relief, and I was in despair. When I found practical Christianity, I took it up, and I was healed." Practical spirituality, practical Christianity, that's what we're here to practice. Christianity and spirituality that literally has the power to improve your life minute to minute, day to day. And after a while, you look back and you realize, I too have been healed by the power of thought, changing the way that I see the world, the way I show up in the world, and the way that I am in the world. She goes on to say, "I was thinking about life. Life is everywhere, in worm and in man. Then why does not life in the worm make a body like a man's?" I asked. And then I thought, a worm doesn't have as much sense as a man. And so I realized that intelligence as well as life is needed to make a body. Here's the key to my discovery. Life has to be guided by intelligence in making all forms. Life has to be guided by intelligence in making all forms. The same law works in my body. Life is a form of energy, and it has to be guided and directed in my body by my intelligence. So right there is our opportunity. Right there it is. We have the opportunity to continually develop our emotional musculature, our intellectual musculature, our spiritual muscular, so that we are able to experience that power that is in us, but not of us, as the result of aligning our thought with its truth. It stands to reason that we would not necessarily do that by instinct in this world. That something has to happen to us that brings us into a knowing that there is something more than the commercials we see on TV, right? Because if you would have society tell us what we need, it's always another product. It's always another experience, right? We need what we have. We just need to know that we have it. Life is a form of energy, and it has to be guided and directed in my body by my intelligence. This is our key to resilience. And why it's true resilience is because it's about centering ourselves in the impersonal, the changeless, the eternal. And so we get resilience wrong when we align it with achievement. We think about great achievers, and we often say they were resilient. Great believers have resilience. Great believers are resilient. Myrtle Fillmore says, we communicate intelligence by thinking and talking. We communicate intelligence by thinking or talking. And so every time I think about intuition, surely some of you all will remember the sitcom Alice. I was here for it in a big way. I was seriously committed to Alice. I'm one of the ones that knows that there was always Alice and Vera, but not necessarily Flo, right? Flo was great, but there was also Belle and there was also Jolene. And what I always think about, even to this day when I think about intuition, is Diane Ladd's character was named Belle, and she used to say, Isabel. My little voice always calls me Isabel. She's talking about her intuition. And even then, even in this sitcom, which was seemingly trivial, we were being introduced to the concept that that inner voice has significance. In this waitress in Phoenix, Arizona, right, with a sassy personality, who calls her intuition Isabel. But it's her little voice. And I'll never forget how I became aware and in complete trust of my inner voice. One word that could be argued to be two, fire walking. Fire walking. Yes, I think my parents know this. That many times without shoes on my feet or socks or any covering, I have walked across hot coals with Edwin Gaines. Who better to walk across fire and come across the other side and have Edwin Gaines standing there with her arms out to catch you, to enable you to believe that you can do anything you choose because you can walk on fire. And to walk that out, let me tell you what, it makes all the difference in the world. You will do things after that experience because you realize that, you know what, I might get embarrassed, but I'm not going to be harmed. I might feel foolish, but I'm not going to be harmed. But here's the story, and it's a beautiful story of ego. So I went and walked on fire a couple of times, and then I decided, well, this is a really great ritual. This is cute, right? But there's something about that wood and the way that that fire is set, or something about what they do, that you can't get burned. You can't get burned. There'd be no way that you could ever do this and that she could get insurance on this place. You know how our minds go, especially when we're in our late 20s. So even though that I had seen with my own eyes the fire set for these firewalks, I was committed to the truth that you really couldn't get burned. And so on about my 5th or 6th visit, I was sitting with some folks at lunch, and I said, well, you know what? I love this firewalking thing. I love the metaphor of it. I think it's brilliant, but you can't get burned. I know it. There's no way you can't get burned. And it was so funny because the women, thank God for women, that I was sitting with at the table just sort of looked at each other like, isn't he precious? That's all right, precious. We're here for you. You mansplain it away, baby. That's fine. That's fine. Because I might be a gay white man, but I am a white man, and it's in there. And we think we have the answers, and we think we know how it is, and if you'll just hold still, we'll tell you about it. So, that Sunday afternoon, they rolled out the the coals, and we all were walking around the fire. Now, the deal is at Edwin Gaines seminars, you do not walk unless you have asked your intelligence, your body wisdom, your intuition, however you choose to relate it. If you have asked your body wisdom and you get a yes, then you can walk. If you ask your body wisdom and you get a no, you should not walk under any circumstances. And the beautiful thing, when after the fire walk ends, she always asks first, who didn't walk? And she applauds those people because she says, I can trust you. I can trust you to follow your guidance and to do what you know is right for you. But anyway, because I'm out there walking around, not even doing the chant, right? Because this is just, I've done this before, and this is basically just a formality, and I'm here for all these other people. And so, she reminds you, ask your body wisdom if it's yours to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm asking my body wisdom. But I didn't. And so I was the first to walk, right? Because you can't get burned. And I'm standing up there, and they're on either side, and boom, 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 into the box, bang. Edwin, okay. And I go back out to join the circle, and I'm like, that felt hot. And it's never felt hot to me before like that. And there's another deal that if you feel your feet burning, you make a commitment that you do not look at your feet until the next morning. You make a commitment before you walk. So I was like, damn, that was really hot. I know that the last time I walked, it felt like, baby powder. It felt very cool. But that was hot. And yet, I continued around the circle and decided I was going to walk again because I had to be sure that it was hot. Did I check with my intuition? Did I check with my wisdom? Nope. Went right back, pranced. Absolutely pranced. Right back across those coals, feet in the bucket of water, back out into the circle. And now I'm thinking, I have third-degree burns on my feet, and I've done it myself. So you can imagine that in that split second, my whole ability of being convinced of my own power and my own ability as flesh was questionable. And also in that moment, actually not in that moment, but I'll tell you what moment it was. After the ceremony finished that night, and those of you who have been to an Edwin Gaines lecture know that it's a beautiful drive home from wherever you have to go that Sunday evening because you have all this wonderful energy and you're prayed up is what you are. And you feel so clear. And yet on this particular drive home, my feet were burning so badly, and I wouldn't admit it to anybody, 2 PS, but my feet were burning so badly that I couldn't even put my feet on the floor. Like I had one foot on the pedal and the other foot was like up off the floor. And when I stopped to get gas, I'll never forget this. And I'm stepping out and my feet hurt so badly. And I move around to put the gas nozzle into the container. And I thought in that moment, now do you recognize the power that you hold within yourself? The power of your intention and the necessity that you ask every time. Every time. And now, if you know me, you know that if you come to me and you ask me about any decision that you have to make in your life, 2 things come up. The first thing is, don't decide until you have to decide. Because any number of things can happen between now and the time that the decision is necessary that could change everything. So wait to decide until you absolutely have to decide. The second thing is, always pay attention to how you feel in your body when it's time to make the decision. Body wisdom is everything. And that to me is true. Intuition. So important. Some people hear a voice. Some people experience a feeling. For some, it's just a knowing, a feeling of assurance. But we all have it, and it's important that we acknowledge it. So important that we acknowledge it. How do we communicate intelligence but by thinking and talking? It flashed upon me, this is Myrtle Fillmore, it flashed upon me that I might talk to the life in every part of my body. So I began to teach my body, and I got marvelous results. In present jargon, that's the power of words, right? We talk about that all the time. It's mainstream. Watch your words. But words are energy. Thoughts are energy. And the expression that words can't hurt you, sticks and stones can break your bones, words can break your heart. And there is no worse place to be in life than a broken heart. And we have tools for that. We have tools for that. So I want you to just close your eyes and listen to the words that Myrtle Fillmore shared that she expressed to her body. You can literally feel the life in these words if you will just focus. I told the life inside my liver. It was not infected, but full of vigor and energy. I told the life in my stomach. It was not weak or inefficient, but strong and intelligent. I told the life in my abdomen that it was no longer infested with ignorant ideas of disease put there by myself and my doctors, but that it was a thrill with a sweet, pure, wholesome energy of God. I went to all the life centers in my body and I spoke words of truth to them. I spoke words of strength and power. I asked their forgiveness. I asked their forgiveness for the foolish and ignorant course I had pursued in the past when I had condemned them and called them weak, inefficient, and diseased. I asked their forgiveness. I saw this on social media about 8 years ago. It was another moment that I have never forgotten. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath. And it replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. So here's the reality. As long as I can remember, every message that I've ever received about my body was that it was wrong in some way. It was too short. It was too small. It was too white, too fair. And then it was too fat. And some would say now that it's too old. But the truth is, my body, our bodies, are amazing, brilliant love centers. The things that happen in our bodies without us ever even having to contemplate. We never even have to think. And a million miracles happen that enable us to go and do and be and have and feel and love. I will never, ever look at my body again and say anything but thank you, I love you, you're working with me, and I know I'm not always the kindest. But thank you, I love you, you're working with me, and I feel it. So I was talking to some folks right before we started, and maybe like many of you, during the course of the quarantine, I've become thicker, Vic. I'm not as lean as I'm used to being because I haven't moved as much as I'm used to moving. And it's a really interesting experience to gain 20 pounds, which is roughly what I've gained, and to still know that my strength is in love and appreciation for the experience in order to change it. I know that I feel better and that I will be healthier when I lose the 20 pounds, but I am in love through the process. Love and gratitude for the perspective, for the opportunity to move, for the opportunity to breathe, for the opportunity to exercise and have at my disposal the foods that can nourish my body. We're so much stronger from a perspective of love than self-condemnation. And that's anything we set out to do. If we can love ourselves to it, then we can love ourselves through it. Myrtle writes, I did not become discouraged at their being slow to wake up, speaking about her organs. But I kept right on declaring, both silently and aloud, declaring the words of truth until the organs responded. And neither did I forget to tell them that they were free, unlimited spirit, no longer in bondage to the human mind, and that they were not corruptible flesh, but centers of life and energy, omnipresent. So we have to be careful, because what ends up happening is we create gods out of circumstances that we attach our focus to. Conditions in the world, circumstances, presidents. Guilty. But in order to do that, in order to keep from doing that, we must be accountable to ourselves. And self-responsibility is not for the faint of heart, brothers and sisters. I once took a friend of mine to Unity on Franklin Road about 10 years ago, and we got in the car, and he goes, "Now I'm going to tell you, that was beautiful, but for me, I'm going to need just a little bit more falling at the feet of Jesus. I'm going to need to believe that I can do 50% and he'll do the rest." Sure did. I thought, well, I've heard it before, that this 100% responsibility for what we think, this 100% responsibility for how we react, this 100% responsibility for how we feel, it's not easy, but there's power in it. And there's true resilience in 100% responsibility for what we allow ourselves to focus on. Focus is our greatest ability as human beings. And depending on where we focus will depend on whether we're using that ability to our advantage or to our disadvantage. There is no one or no thing closer to the truth than you are. You don't need anybody to tell you what's true. You need to trust your intuition. You need to trust your intuition. Trust your love. Love is what you are. When we worship those false gods, then inevitably we will see them fall, or we will fall, because we're not looking where we're walking. We're walking in love. We're walking in love. Love is the reason we can walk. Love is the reason we can breathe. But when we shift our focus from that, that's when we fall. Comparison. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but somebody needs to hear this. Comparison is not the truth, and it's the ultimate form of self-abandonment. The divine idea of love has a highest expression known as you, known as me, known as life. And our ability to align with that truth and to entertain that truth renders comparison completely irrelevant. And Nickie, you and I have had this conversation. There's a lot of us in Nashville that can sing. Not a lot of us that can sing like that. And what's important is that if singing brings you joy, find a place to sing. Your music is needed. The music of your heart and your life is needed. It's the ego that attaches to where it shows up. But your music is needed. And so in conclusion, to truly claim our identity in the divine, we must reverse the laws of living we've been taught. The worldly thought patterns insist that we are nothing and everything we need is out there. Yet the spirituality that Myrtle Fillmore taught us is that we Fillmore. But that's basically it. That's it in a nutshell. That's how we are, who we are, and where we are. And that's how we are well equipped to do the work that the world is asking us to do right now. We have to provide for our spiritual musculature and our emotional musculature and our intellectual musculature. That's our part. But that enables us to allow for our chosen truth to be made manifest as the conditions in our lives. the conditions we would choose for ourselves, the conditions that life would choose for us as the result of its truth. And so resilience, the ability to continue working your truth, continue working your commitment to truth exactly the way that Myrtle did in that closet. I spoke to the organs in my body and I told them exactly what I wanted them to do. I did not become discouraged at them being slow to wake up. Not everyone around you is going to understand when you make a commitment to truth. They might not be woke to that truth. But I keep right on declaring words of truth until the organs responded. There's power in that. Notice she used the word declaring because declaration is stronger than affirmation. I'm going to declare words of truth until the organs respond. So here it all boils down to. Are you living at choice in your life? And is your truth what you live, or is your truth what you hide from? One of those moments for me was hearing John McClain at Unity on Franklin Road say, whether you're living the life of your dreams is irrelevant. I want to know if you're living the life of your choice. I felt that. I have never forgotten that. Do you play it safe or do you play it true? Have you chosen a truth for yourself and for the ones you love about what is happening in our world right now that you're willing to commit to? The truth is powerful and it prevails. True resilience, the willingness to fall 16 times and get up 17. The clarity to realize we allow resilience just as we allow our thoughts to be loving. True resilience is love. Thoughts consistently aligning and realigning with love. What would love do now? What would love do now? What would love do now? It doesn't matter if you missed it 10 minutes ago. What matters is what would love do now? There is no greater act of love than to do exactly for your life and for those around you than to allow your chosen truth, your higher truth, to heal your mind, heal your body like Myrtle Fillmore, to heal and fill your life according to the truth of love. Love is what we are, never what we need. What we need is to be what we are. Namaste. All right. Nickie, Conley, and Maureen Murphy.
The weather's always changing. It's sunny, then it's raining. Daylight's always fading. Stars are moving through the sky. And people all around you, they only tell you what they want to. Never know what all they're going through. And we're all just passing by. We all got our reasons to be afraid. It's easy to give up and hide away. I'm gonna try to be right. Try. In a world that's ever spinning, do my best to keep on living. I'm gonna try to be right. Try. On a ground that's ever shifting, I will fight to be forgiven. Yesterday's problems, today we already forgot them. They'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll be surprised again. At the end of every season, we'll fall down on our knees and start praying there's a reason. Blowing somewhere in the wind, I know I found myself from time to time. But I will not surrender. I'm gonna try to be alive. Try. In a world that's ever spinning, do my best to keep on living. I'm gonna try to be alive. Try. On a ground that's ever shifting, I will fight to be forgiven. I'm gonna try. Oh, try. I'm gonna try. On a ground that's ever shifting, I will fight to be forgiven.
Thank you. All right. You advance this, Crystal, to the next slide? There it is. So we're going to say our prosperity affirmation together. I am open. And the next slide. Maybe I've lost my battery. There you go. So tithes, donations, and love offerings, unityofmusiccity.com/donate/. Thank you, everyone, for your love, your energy today. Thank you to our guests, Kyshona, Armstrong, Maureen, Murphy, Nickie, Conley. How beautiful. Just beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you to everyone here that made this happen today. You know, I normally say the names, but I'm not feeling so clear today, so I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say thank you if you're in the room, because I don't want to forget anybody's name. But I love you, and I appreciate you. Thank you to Orion for showing up today for us, too. So take us out. Take us home. In love. We'll see you next week.
I'm gonna try to be alive. Try. In a world that's ever spinning, do my best to keep on living. I'm gonna try to be alive. Try. On a ground that's ever shifting, I will fight to be forgiven.